Alright. Case number 1, home office for cleaning business.
Missed it, huh? Oh, this is the pre-meeting.
Pre-meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
You're all good. Normal questions. Case number 2, remote virtual assistant services. Just need to stress, I mean, they've got them here, no customers, no employees.
We don't have a little stool, do we? I don't think that lady's gonna be able to reach the microphone.
What tea?
She can just talk loud. She can just talk loud.
We've also got this microphone here, if you want to stand at that table and use that microphone.
I don't know how comfortable she'd be, because she probably wouldn't be able to see y'all from the
Yeah.
podium.
Oh.
She's short.
Pocket size?
She is short.
Huh?
She's a small little lady.
Okay. Case number 3. I can't read this person's writing, but it's t-shirts online.
It says their inventory is gonna be delivered to their house. So, it looks like they're gonna ship them and deliver them.
Yeah, I just need to ask what the quantities of inventory is.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like they're making them at their house, it sounds like they're ordering them, have them shipped. Case number 4 is to breed dogs. I will say we've never had this one before, so is there anything from a legal standpoint about animal?
It's not one of the restricted usages that's in the municipal.
Well, didn't we approve one for somebody with chickens, didn't we? Thought we did. Cause we looked it up and that wasn't one of the
Oh, was it the
prohibited.
dove
Doves,
guy?
that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's the dove guy for special
Yeah, he was
events.
just gonna release them and stuff at like weddings or.
Yeah,
There's-
it's not in the list of anything that's specifically prohibited, so as long as they can meet all of the other requirements of,
Yeah.
not having people come to their house, as long as they can meet every other part of it.
So there's no limit on number of domestic animals somebody can
It would
have.
be limited solely by not being a public nuisance or something.
Right,
Right.
and they are teeny tiny dogs that they're breeding.
Yeah, but how is it that they will be allowed to breed the dogs unless they have both dogs? You know, if they are, when I think of breeders, I'm thinking that someone has a registered animal and then they are going to breed it with another registered animal. And if they're going to do it at their property, then does that not defeat the things of we share, no one can come to your house?
They're gonna come and look at the puppies.
Well, they're gonna come look at the public, but then they're going to bring the two, unless this person says, I've got, unless they're going to always have just theirs and then turn their 2 dogs into a puppy mill, then if they're going to, when I think breeding, I think that, okay, here's a registered dog, here's another registered dog, and so they're gonna come to their location. That defeats, in my opinion, what is, that we say you cannot have customers coming to your house.
I mean, if they can attest to, we understand all of these rules, we know that nobody can come to the house, those are some questions that y'all may pose to them.
And they may have both dogs.
Yeah, they may have both dogs and plan on becoming a puppy mill.
Yeah, and, ask those questions and see, but, make them attest to those items that nobody can come to your house, all business has to be conducted off-site, those items, and make sure they're aware of them.
I understand what you're saying, I'm with you, cause there's a big difference in just having a pair of dogs and you sell 1 litter at a time versus you have 7 female dogs all at once, and you have to have people coming and doing everything associated with breeding animals, next door in a residential area. But again, if they attest to it and they are able to not be a public nuisance or make it look like there's not a business there, then.
Well, next thing, the people with the ethical treatment of animals. Is Decatur willing to start, you know, from whatever I hear tell about puppies and these things right here, I'm not knowledgeable that, okay, I'm gonna have, some puppies and that's gonna be a one-time shot. If you are applying to us, it sounds as though you're planning on running a business. And a business, to me, it almost sounds like a puppy meal that we hear this statement of. Now, what does that mean in real life? I don't know. But I know that I don't think that that's a thing that people desire for their city.
Well, I mean, that is what this is, but I mean,
It's
if you correct me if I'm wrong, there's nothing in
There's
our
nothing
city
that's
code.
There's nothing that's
prohibiting.
The two things that would stop this from getting out of hand would be, one, the neighbors saying it's a public nuisance. Number two, if dogs are housed or mistreated wrong in any way, animal services will get involved.
But that's separate from,
And
from
we do have the
approving it.
new tether laws that were just passed, all of that. We have things concerning, the keeping of your animals on your property, but as far as, puppy breeding, we don't really have anything in city code that.
Right.
My guess is, one, the size of these dogs, they're not gonna be housing them outside, cause they're literally like this big, so they can't,
They're
Have-
house dogs.
they can't have kennels upon
I think
kennels in
you
them.
just need to consider the fact that it could be in a later time, a different breed.
Right.
But that's something for y'all to consider. That's not a
Right.
legal ramification. That's for y'all to ask questions to determine whether you want to permit or deny it.
My other guess is, this is someone that's wanting to advertise their puppies for sale. I have friends in Mobile that breed golden retrievers, but they have one litter at a time, but it is, they do advertise it as they breed. It's a business. I don't know,
Well, and that's again where I said, you might wanna reinforce to them that you can advertise, you just can't use your address.
Right. That's the big
or
thing, is they can't have people,
You might wanna reinforce these things to make sure they know these are the rules. that
you have to meet
follow.
somebody somewhere for them to see the
And
puppies.
if you're asking for this approval, you need to tell us that you can follow these rules and be able to operate the business.
And my last question will be associated with what was just shared a moment ago. The application says teacup Yorkies. When we make the approval, if the approval goes through, since what I think I understand is there's nothing that's against it, okay? So do we then say you are authorized to breed teacup Yorkies versus a breeding situation? Because as you're sharing, these are little bitty dogs in the house. Next thing you know, we've got the bigger dogs that will make a house a cramped area, okay? So,
Where you're gonna have other residents want to do the same thing with different breeds.
Well, that's what you all have to consider as a board, because that's not a legal question per se for whether they're allowed to do it. There may be other laws that affect it, but I think that's something y'all need to consider in setting a precedent, because they're going to say, you've allowed other breeders to do this when you're, that's just something that's a very,
For this,
good
for
question to
this
think
board,
about.
as long as it doesn't look like a business, they're not, and we approve it, it doesn't matter what they're breeding, what kind of dog, right?
Well, that would be my question on this, Chip, is.
They did fill it out for Yorkies, though.
In the application,
It says Yorkies.
that's right.
breeding teacup Yorkies, so they are specifically asking for a business to breed that specific type of dog. So does that mean that's all they can breed? Because that's what they're asking for.
That's what they're asking for, and the board can limit it to that if they want.
So y'all can limit it to, they've only asked for breeding that one specific breed. No other breeds will be allowed under this occupation.
But would we turn it down if it was any other breed?
It also says in the questionnaires, more than one room in the house used for occupation. So
You can ask them where the operations will be. Will they be outside? Will there be any other locations besides, to help
I
narrow
think
that
the
down?
answer is no, cause I don't wanna get into a breed debate with people.
No, I'm
Cause I
not.
have a pit bull
I'm
and I
not
know
going
that's
to.
Right.
Bigger dog.
That's
Yeah,
not-
you'll
But I could, apparently I could
breed it.
breed her if she came in heat. you know, and I could have 10 pit bulls in my, so
Yeah,
I think we would not
but-
limit it if they didn't limit themselves on
But the fact that they're
application.
going through this process would make me think they're planning on doing a bunch of dogs. I mean,
Yes and no. I
But-
came through this process because I had a embroidery machine at my house and somebody at a boutique asked me to do it, and Karen Smith said, hey, it's probably time for you to go through this process and get a business license.
Yeah.
And I still never, I mean, it was a part-time, I embroidered stuff on the weekends, but I still came through this process because I was advertising it. I was letting it.
A lot of times this is a cascading effect, so it's somebody who has made money doing this, they try to report the taxes, and then they realize, oh wait, I need a business license.
Yep.
And then, oh wait, before I can do this, I have to get this approval, so
yeah,
sometimes those are how those.
right.
Yeah.
process.
Somebody at least want
I
to do
just
it.
really wanna, I don't wanna set some precedent like you were saying of defining what dogs somebody can and can't have, or, yeah, you can do dogs but not cats, or what, just screw up and make some decision like that, and that we have to come back and fix later.
I
Understood.
think we just need to hear them out
Yeah,
and understand exactly.
and there's nothing in the ordinances that prohibit anything like this in the city, right? Now, if they were doing something, like what are prohibited animals? Livestock, like large livestock?
Livestock, that's what meets the definition of livestock,
Livestock.
which
Okay.
is farm animals.
Yep.
But
Which aren't chickens.
the beauty, whatever of this board is that y'all are the conscience of the community. So while we can't write an ordinance that says, do this dog or not that dog, or you can have this many but not that many.
Yep.
Y'all just look at the facts that they're presenting and say, this will or will not negatively impact the neighborhood.
Yep.
If you think it can go and the neighborhood still continue to exist as it is, you approve it. If you think it's too disruptive or it changes the character of the neighborhood, then you reject it.
Thank you.
Alright. Case number 5, herbal supplement business online from one room of their house. Case number 6, mobile locksmith and roadside service. Make sure they realize that that's roadside and not front yard or garage service.
He answered number 1 on the questionnaire, page 39. He said no.
I think he's confused because he's a mobile business, but
Yeah.
yeah, we need to address that.
We need to make sure you understand the
Uh,
question.
Question. The locksmith thing, at one time, no, that's just me, not at one time. With a locksmith, they have certain, tooling that they need to be able to, help people who, keys are locked in their cars and things like that. Is there a, well, I want to use the word license, but license is not the right word. Is there something that they do with the police department or someone to ensure that the person who is setting up a business to be a locksmith is actually one that is credible, that they can have these kind of, sometimes they call them, forgery tools or tools of entry or whatever like that, or is that something that we don't get into here?
I don't think that's something that we don't get into that. That's a
Okay,
different.
so you
I
just,
don't know what kind of licensure they have.
well, how do you get, all right, boom, I can just go online and say, hey, man, I need all the tools so that I can try to pick everybody's lock around here. Is that the thing? And so who is, I would use the word policing, but who is the one that's making sure that we're not authorizing something that can be their license to steal?
Right there,
There is a criminal charge.
Right there,
That's
key
the
makers.
burglar tools.
right here, 1619, key makers to keep record and give notice of keys made.
Okay, thank you.
I knew it was in there, I just didn't know where.
All right.
But the lock picking thing,
Hmm.
there's a criminal statute against that if they have those, for the
They're not
purpose of
allowed to
breaking
use.
in, or could be used for
Yeah, well, and that,
You could be charged with possession of burglary tools.
yeah, and see, that's the thing, is, that you bring up, because I thought riding around, and they used to call them something like a Jimmy, or a Slim Jim, or something like that. You're riding around with that in your car, what are you doing? I'm here to help any person who is in distress.
I think
To help
you
them
also
get
have
into
to
their
get a
car.
license through the state to be a locksmith.
Aha, that's the question that I was asking. So with this thing right here that they're asking to set up in their house, they must already have the license with the state.
You can
Or
ask
they would
them,
have to get one in order.
or they would have to get one. You need to ask them that,
Okay.
if they're licensed as a locksmith, or if they have plans to be licensed as a locksmith.
Okay. That is the
Would that be
area
part-
that I was trying to go into.
Would that be part of their appeal for a business license?
Do you know if they have to
It's
put
like
that in
the-
there?
You know, we do a lot of them where they have to still get health department approval and things.
Yeah, we
Or
approve,
it's allowing them.
we
Right.
approve home bakeries all the time, but we don't touch the home.
Right, you don't
In order to
determine
open
whether
that,
or
they
not
would
he
have to
is,
have
you
that
just,
license.
it says that it's the Alabama Electronic Security Board of Licensures who, they have to pass a criminal background check, pass a locksmith licensing exam, they have fees and an application.
Yeah,
This
so,
section says they have to comply with the state licensing board to issue, before we issue them a license.
a
Say that
business
again,
license.
Bill. Say it again.
They have to comply with the state health requirements and licensing procedures in order to get a license. So before we'll sell them a license to do something that requires a state license.
Okay. So
That's
even
on
though,
them,
even
not on
though we
us.
approve
Right.
it, you all have there's another balance of check
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
after this.
But
You're not saying to him it's okay to do anything criminal.
No.
You're just allowing him to operate a particular business out of his home, assuming that all other,
We're just granting
Yes.
administrative.
But it's well within your purview to ask him if he's licensed if you want to.
sure.
Well, but from what I just heard, even though this is like step one. And then then the person will do step 2, 3, and 4 as Mr. Sims is sharing.
Not necessarily. He could be licensed and just not be operating out of his home.
Yeah, he's got a business name, and
Right.
he lock, Inc.
He could be licensed and just want to have an office in his home.
Decide to go out of his own.
Yeah.
Okay.
He works for the city of Madison. He transferred here from California, so he had a business in California. He works for the city of Madison, and they're code enforcement department. He's wanting to set up a business here, and he's already got his license.
Okay.
Then I bring the conversation.
Well, that's good. Okay.
But it doesn't have to go in this order. It can go in a different, that way you don't have to.
It looks like I just don't have anything to do, and I'm picking on people. Let me-
No, you're asking really good, those are really good questions. Those are questions you need to ask.
Okay, okay, go.
But it is similar to the cottage bakery.
Mm-hmm.
It's on us to say they can do it, it's on them
Right.
and the other departments involved to determine that they do that
That it's
legally.
legal what they're doing.
Yes.
That's the way to think of it too, is when y'all approve a restaurant on a field in a certain zone, y'all are approving, you know, you can operate that restaurant, they still have to go through all the other licenses.
Right.
Daycares or whatnot.
Yep.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
All right, case number 7. I'm so confused. Does Chick-fil-A not already have these carport things over their drive-through? Are they asking for forgiveness?
They've got a
No, they're-
temporary one on the mall side of the property now, and they're gonna be replacing that with a permanent one.
Okay,
What this is asking for is they also want to do a permanent one on the Beltline side of the property.
don't they have something there?
No.
No, not there,
Just straight rain.
not on the Beltline.
Okay, I was thinking it was
And
covered.
so
It's covered.
the current building is right on that 60-foot setback, so anything they add over there is gonna encroach into that setback. So that's what they're asking for here, they just wanna build a permanent awning structure over those 2 lanes of.
Over the the ordering side and the delivery side.
Yes.
Do they have it over the delivery side of the other Chick-fil-A?
Yes,
It's not as big.
Yeah, there's a wide awning there that you pull.
Okay.
They've got a cover on the
I
Beltline
think
side.
they
They do.
I think
They have
It may
a
be
cover, but it's
temporary.
not this wide.
It's like a canopy.
Yeah, but it just hangs off the side of the building, so this would actually be.
Independent.
This will be, you know, they've got the footings, they've got supporting dumpster that's out into this.
They wanna make it a 2-lane delivery,
Yeah.
which they do have at the other Chick-fil-A, it's a 2-lane delivery. Okay. All right,
And
I'm not,
the thing to remember, there's really big right of way there, there's a lot of space to the road.
yeah, because they're still within the parking lot,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is way off of the actual belt line.
Are they gonna have to give up parking spots on that side?
No, I think it's where people actually start the drive-through circle,
And I
what it
did reach-
amounts to.
Yeah, I reached out to the engineering department just to verify they have no issues with it either, so.
How do they get the product to the second vehicle over there? If it's a 2-vehicle, this just,
Well, then
How
that's
do
a
they,
question.
how do they what?
How do-
It bleeds back into one lane.
Oh, okay, so so 2 lanes, I'm under the canopy, but only one lane is getting the
They
product
ask
out
for
the
your name,
store.
They have cameras, they can see your picture.
And they don't always get it just right. I've been one of those,
I was
I've
somewhere,
gotten
and I
someone
mean, they
else's
actually
order.
walked it,
but typically they get it right most of the
Whataburger
time.
has 2 lanes,
Well, thank you.
and they walk it out
They
too.
walk it right
Yeah,
out there.
that's,
Yeah,
Culver's.
and I think that's kind of their point, is so they can walk
Right.
it out safely.
it's
and
just,
Without getting wet.
whether.
they do their best, but
I'm all for it.
And the
Well, I don't know
the
about-
Culver's drive-through process
they both try.
is once you place your order, you go up and you pay, then you go on up on both sides of the road over in Madison, and you never get your food from the window. They bring it all out.
Always.
They put a sticker on your outside mirror, and then they just walk right up to that number and hand you your good and take the sticker and go back.
Which would be kind of cool,
Yeah, it's a different
because I hate
process.
getting sent to a parking spot
Yeah,
when there's nobody behind me, but.
right.
All right, case number 8,
Well, at Culver's, there's always somebody behind you.
They want to basically attach their outdoor garage to their house.
Is that what that is? I don't know. Well, I couldn't make that out to be outdoor until you just said it. 'Cause I said, I want to add, I said something as this outdoor space, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So they're wanting to connect their outbuilding
Yeah,
to their home?
yeah, or get it close, yeah. I don't know that it'll actually connect, but it's just like right up against the gutter. It's within 5 feet. That's where,
Yeah.
once you get within 5, that's where it gets you.
Okay.
It's considered a big part of it.
It's not the one that had the 22 yards, is it? That
No.
was, okay, but I
So-
think that was
Well,
a tight.
22 foot rear yard.
Yeah, okay, so that's what, I was hoping that that's what they were talking. Okay, I don't have anything else on that.
So they're wanting to just put a canopy or
Yeah, they're gonna make a
Extend.
little breezeway between where it is.
Okay.
Cover-
Existing building in,
Covered breezeway.
Yep,
and so they're specifically asking for, I guess because it's now connected to the house.
yeah, they got, the survey shows they got like 12 point something feet to the rear, which, what it works out to is they'll be encroaching the setback 22.87 feet. They're not adding
much?
anything to the building other than connecting.
Yep.
The existing building is still
Yep. But
doing the same thing.
yeah, it's just different now because it's connected.
Yeah, once you connect it, then it's part of the main structure. The main structure is supposed to be 35 feet.
Okay.
but they said they
But
weren't
for
gonna
the
connect.
neighbors, they're wanting to.
They're not gonna connect to the main structure, are they? I thought they were
Well, they're
5
getting
feet short.
close, but if you're within 5 feet,
Then that's connected.
it's considered part of the main building.
Okay, thank you.
Virtually no impact to the neighbors though.
No.
Apologize, I thought I was
There's
on
no,
mute.
don't impact anything.
Yep. All right.
All right. Case number 9 is replacing the sign at St. Paul's Church with a new sign. Is that the way I read it? Tearing down the old non-conforming sign that we approved a few years ago.
No, that's a different,
Oh,
that's,
that was the daycare.
that was the digital sign, it's not there anymore, so this one, the original sign was, well, to make a long story short, the right of way off Caradale is enormous, so it, where the property line is there, is right to the back of the curve.
Do they want it to go where this sign is in this picture?
No, it'll be within 3 feet of the property line, they actually may be moving it up a shade. So like right here's the sign,
Yep.
they're gonna move it up toward 3 foot of this property line. You can see that this is the Carradale right of way. You can see how big that right of way is. It's 100 foot, I think. So they're gonna move it up just to within 3 feet.
But everything about the sign is conforming that they wanna build. Size-wise, I mean, they don't
Looks
need
like
any,
the sign's bigger, isn't it?
it might be bigger than the initial one,
Well,
but,
it's 9 foot tall, it's a little taller.
Yeah.
It's still not as tall as they can have.
okay, that's what,
Okay.
They
so
can
they're
have
not
a
asking
20
for any kind of
they
sign
can have a-
variances.
no, They can have a 20-foot sign that's 100.
So all that's
Oh,
okay.
100, excuse me.
They just want the location.
You're right.
We're just approving location, not,
Could you zoom back to that, overhead view? And where was it gonna be again?
Right here.
All right, that's it now?
That's where it's at now. Now they're
Yep.
gonna move it up to within 3 foot of this.
Okay, so still well enough back, it's not gonna cause any sort of
Yeah,
vision obstruction or
That
anything?
digital sign is, very good view, is it? Then they had another one that was down here, I think. Yeah, the little school sign.
yeah, we approved it a couple years ago. It's basically in the flower bed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there. So this actually owns the property line.
Yep.
The school sign is, and then you come down here and there's the digital sign that doesn't work anymore. And they're basically gonna take this one and put it within 3 feet of the property.
Okay.
Okay.
Still a long way away from the road.
And then there's another one down here on the corner.
All right.
All right, case number 10, I want a 22-foot variance at a 15 by 22-foot addition.
All right, so they asked for 22 feet on their application. They don't actually need 22 feet. They only need like, so how did I figure that? So if they needed a 22-foot setback, the setback in this district is,
Oh, and the room is gonna be 22 by 15, is why they asked for 22 feet.
right, but they didn't actually need to.
Rear yard's 40 feet.
40 feet.
That,
So, this is,
118 feet from the house to the backyard. Or is it the whole thing?
they only need 10.35.
25, yeah.
Okay. So do we want them to correct that?
They can always ask for more. They can ask for less. See what that said, that said 51. So the house sits 51.65
65.
feet back.
Right,
So if you take 40 feet, you did say 40 feet, didn't you? So you take 40 feet off of that,
1165.
that's 11.65, so then they're gonna go out 22 from 11, they're gonna go into it.
8.3 something, 8.35, whatever.
And we don't wanna grant a 22-foot variance, cause then they could build all the way, I mean, way closer to the property line. Am I correct? So we wanna
So
change
they
it.
need a 10.35 variance.
That's what I had.
Yeah, 10
Right.
point,
Then they can build 22 feet.
So we want them to request
need
an
a 10
11-foot.
they need a
Right.
10.35,
Yeah.
11 foot.
Okay.
Yep.
We just wanna explain to them, they don't need the whole 22 feet of the building.
Yeah, so I just went a different way and got the same number, so we gotta be good.
Common Core math going on in here.
And I guess they've got pictures of an addition their neighbors did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that whole back part of the neighbor's house is an addition. Oh, well, yeah, well, this is the pre-meeting, so, you're welcome to be in here, but we'll talk to you in a little while.
Okay.
But I think just showing that they won't stick out any further in the back than the neighbor's house. Alright, case 11, consolidating part of this parcel. It is currently zoned M1A, and one of the use on appeals is R4 residential. So they are asking to be able to use part of this parcel as R4 multifamily residential. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
R4 is one of the, they have to ask to use R4 in the M1A. They're asking to use R4 in M1A.
Okay.
It's the short version of it that I got from my lesson on M1A before we started.
Okay.
So, looks like they're planning to build an apartment complex, right?
Well, that's the, either a complex or something to build a multifamily.
Yeah, complex or
Let's just say-
duplex or
Let's
something?
just say, if they were gonna build single-family homes, it still would fall under R4. Because single families are allowed under R4 as well. You don't have to build multifamily in R4, but you can if you want to.
Yeah, but you cannot put in a multifamily in an R1 or R2, whatever.
Right,
it's single
R1,
family.
2, 3, 5, 6,
Okay,
Or where is this going?
it's on
Where is this-
Sims.
Where's this property?
Behind.
Right there across from where the fairground
Mm-hmm.
or was.
Yeah, the backyard of Home
There's that big
Depot.
parking area that everybody used to park in when they was kids.
Okay.
Okay, you almost had me. Okay, Home Depot, I know where the old fairgrounds is.
Keep pull it up.
So you're saying that there's gonna be a fitness center over there?
They've already started the
Yeah, it's already
fitness
started.
center.
It's already been.
It's in the backyard of Home Depot, basically.
It's on that side.
Behind.
The
Home
overflow
Depot.
parking
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
the,
it's right here, this little area right here is where the fitness center is, and then the rest of it,
so he has bought that whole back.
I guess, I don't know whether he owns it exclusively or not, but he's got it.
It was, yes, it was recently consolidated, so it's all in his name.
So that whole back area behind Academy and Home Depot? Okay.
And the ask is for what? To build apartments?
This
Well, to develop it,
To
to develop it as our, so,
R4.
he
Okay.
hasn't, I don't know whether he's actually got, does he know what he's gonna do?
We haven't seen any, we
I don't
haven't
think
seen
he
any
knows
plans,
just yet,
so.
but he's gotta be able to know that he can, so he has to come to us.
If he
to ask.
wants to.
If he wants to, then it goes through, before he can actually build it, they'll go through some other processes.
Yep.
R4 site plan review through the planning commission.
And he has to ask for permission to do R4 in M1A.
Yeah, that's the first
So
step.
we would,
Right.
so we would just be saying you can put apartments there if you want to.
Right.
Allow this question. The area that the property is going to back up to, and I think that's Sims Street there. And those are single-family homes there, right?
Correct.
Okay, and so, I'm trying to follow your cursor. Where is where would the multifamily housing potentially be?
Right here.
This whole
It will
area there?
front
Yep.
to Sims.
Yep, if on
Oh,
the book
good.
agenda,
Yeah,
this is
Here you
that
go.
parcel right here,
Right
here's
here.
where the fitness center is.
okay. Well, the fitness center is under construction,
Right.
but it's,
So that's
this is
That's
Sims.
Sims right there.
and
So that
there's
would,
apartments
the
right here.
potential for this all to be
Okay,
apartments.
well, how will the people get to the front of the fitness center then?
The
So obviously,
entrance,
It's off,
there's,
off Spring.
encouraged by the planning commission for that is, there's
Well,
an
mind you-
entrance from Fairgrounds Road, and then there's another entrance that comes
Mind you, the
out.
whole green block here is not the entire building. The building, I mean, the entire building's not gonna fit in that green block, it's actually smaller than
okay, but the red area
the, yeah,
will be the apartments.
right.
And so when we look at that next to those single-family homes, that's just, Sims is not a relatively large street, but are we harming that particular residential district by putting in an apartment complex right there in their back door?
I don't know, it may not.
To the untrained eye, it looks like it is.
I mean, like right here, you look in apartments.
Well, show me where you, it's hard to find your cursor. Okay, yeah, those apartments are buffered by trees, okay? Well,
Right here, single family homes, and there's apartments, there's townhomes.
do they have a connecting street? I didn't see
No,
that.
they used to be, but I think they took it out.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. Okay, so now we don't have, I mean, we will have a connecting street to the single family homes in that area.
So, the big thing is our apartments bad or good?
I don't know, it depends on who's in.
So if he has the right to appeal this, to be able to do apartments, if he wants to do apartments.
Right to appeal to do apartments.
Yeah, he has the right to appeal it, and it's kind of like the use permitted on appeal. If he's appealing it, he says, I want to be able to try to develop this. for
And
apartments."
apartments, right.
And then he's gotta go through the planning commission to get their approval for site plan, meaning they're gonna look at his parking, they're gonna look at his entrances, they're gonna look at his buildings.
How many units?
But they're not gonna
units
look
and all
at, but are they going to look at the effect on the homeowners
They
in that
should.
area?
They ought to, but that's just it. What effect would there be?
A lot of people, when they have their single family homes and then up pops an apartment, there is a depreciation to their homes.
There could be if they're not managed properly.
Yeah, but then
There's
that's,
the same thing with single family.
I would say, but they've also got a truck driving school at the fairground.
Well, I
They
think,
get a demerit for that
do
too.
we also need to just, he just wants it to be R4. It's not that you're approving apartment complex, you're
Right.
approving a use, it could be for multiple things that fit within R4. It's not just that one thing, so it's not that you're approving apartment complex. You're saying it could be used for any of the uses for R4, because we don't know what he plans on using it, and until he files something with the planning department, no one will know what he's what it actually will be.
Right,
I
we are
think-
not saying go start building apartments.
Right, you're saying
We're
this is a
allowing this
permitted
use.
use upon appeal in an M1A. He can come here to ask for an R4, which includes more things than just apartments.
and the only way to protect that residential district would be to close Sims Street, of which we don't have that kind of authority. You know, I'm trying to protect that neighborhood over there, okay? They got single family homes, they've been there forever. Now, whatever can be performed under an R4, which apartments and then the other things are,
Single-family homes are in R4 too, correct?
they could. You could put a single family home next to a fitness center. That's, in my opinion, would be unlikely,
Sure.
okay?
I'm
So
just,
the only thing that I think as far as being able to live there would be duplexes on the side that's maybe in front of the fitness center, and the other side would be small, 4-story, not 4-story, but boom, 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 boom housing. I mean,
One thing to think about on this though is, so if it's not R4, if it's not apartments, it can be whatever is allowed in
M1A.
including light manufacturing. So would it be better to be apartments right next to those single family homes, or would it be better to have a light manufacturing operation right next to those single family homes? So that's another way to look at this as well, is
It to be a
you would
positive.
actually potentially be providing more protection from what could go there, because an R4 use would be a lot lower impact on them than a light manufacturing operation that would be allowed in current zoning without the appeal.
Including mobile home parks,
mobile home could be on R4 too.
M1. If you don't,
M1A, right.
yeah, M1 light,
So that's another thing to consider here is,
not just M1A,
could actually be
just M1.
lessening the potential impact by allowing R4 instead of what it should
But
be.
it-
Well, and it's probably gonna be quieter than when the fairgrounds comes down.
Well, I was
Should I-
thinking if they're gonna take if they wanted to build apartments around an existing fitness center, probably gonna be pretty nice apartments, I would think.
Yeah.
That would be one of the attractions towards go.
Sure.
But again, that's for down the road.
All right,
That's just what I was thinking.
my responsibility was to ask the questions. You all were kind enough to allow to ask me, and we'll go from there.
I think case 12, we do not have paperwork on.
Right.
We're gonna allow them to present, but we are going to table it until next month when we have all of the proper applications and paperwork to go with it.
They are gonna present?
Yes.
Okay.
But if they present and it's a different board next time, how does that benefit them?
Good question. It won't, well, they'll present again. We're gonna table it.
Okay.
We're gonna table it and it will come up again. We won't do a vote on it, yes or no, today. We will table it. And it will be represented next month with the proper paperwork.
Okay, understood. All
All right, you can take us off live for a few minutes. Board of Zoning and Adjustments of the City of Decatur is now in session. You are before the Board of Zoning and Adjustments today seeking special consideration to an ordinance based on special conditions, or the literal enforcement of an ordinance will result in unnecessary hardship for you, or there's been an error in the enforcement of the ordinance. It will require 4 favorable votes from the board to approve any request presented today. Y'all can see we only have 4 of us here. We try to have 5, but if, when your case is called, you would like to defer till next month when we could have 5, you have that option. But it will take a unanimous vote for things to get approved today. Please come forward when your name is called and state your name, address, and what you would like this board to do. All cases will be called in the docketed order. Once your case has been heard, please see Nancy Whiteside, after which you are free to leave. Please call the roll.
Lane Dean.
Here.
Stephen Thompson.
Here.
Larry Ray.
Here.
Brad Townsend.
Here.
Are there any corrections to the minutes of the November meeting?
No.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Several of you are here today asking for permission to run a business out of your house. So there are some rules that it's just easier to go over with you as a group, so we don't have to say this over and over. If you have questions when you come up, or if you understand the rules, if you will say so. But to use your house as a home occupation, you may not have employees report to your house unless they already live at your house. You have to meet them off-site, somewhere else, but you can't have employees coming to the house to report to work. You can advertise, you can do social media, you can have business cards, you can have a sign on your vehicle, but it cannot list your home address. We can have your email address, your website address, your phone number, but you cannot put your home address on any of your advertising. Customers cannot come to your house. Again, you've got to meet them at an off-site, either at their place, at a parking lot, wherever. You just can't meet them have them come to your house. And if you're having things delivered, it needs to be by standard methods. FedEx, UPS, post office. Said we don't want an 18-wheeler full of inventory pulling down residential streets to deliver things to your house. So when you come forward, if you will either ask questions if you have them about those rules, or acknowledge that you understand them, that will make things go along much quicker. So please call the first case.
Case number 1, application to appeal Sherry Painter for termination as use permit appeal section 2510 of the zoning ordinance to operate administrative office for a cleaning service located at 2015 Harrison Street. Southeast property is located in the R2 single family zoning district.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I understand. I've been practicing those rules myself, because home is sanctuary. So
All right, if you'll state your name and address for us.
Sherry Painter, and it's 2015 Harrison Street, Southeast Decatur, Alabama, 35601.
All right, and tell us what you are looking for us to do for you today.
But I'm trying to retain my business license because I have a janitorial contract with People's Bank, and I have to be licensed. And I have 15 banks. I've already started the banks January 1st, and of course I have to have a license to operate legally. So I've got all my other licenses in my other cities. This was the only one. This is where I live. This is the only one I need. And of course, I'm having to use my home address because I don't have an office yet. I just started up. But I don't use it for all that stuff you were talking about. I keep it private. There's no neon sign or nothing like that going on. Nobody comes to the house. And I have to go to my customers because it's cleaning.
All right, so basically you want to use one room in your house to do the administrative side
Yes,
of
ma'am.
your cleaning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are there questions from the board?
No question.
No questions.
Does the property owner, are they aware that you're doing
Yes,
this?
yes.
All right. Comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
No comment.
Comments from the planning department? Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Lane Dean.
Yes,
Stephen Thomas.
Yes.
Larry Ray.
Yes.
Brad Townsend.
Yes.
you have been approved.
Thank you
You'll
so
see
much.
Nancy right here.
Thank you.
She will tell you where to go next.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Right here, Ted.
Right there. Case number 2, application appeal of Cynthia Martin for termination, for determination as use permit appeal section 2510 of the zoning ordinance to operate an online business for a virtual assistant business located at 416 Hay Drive, Southwest, Apartment 8. Property is located in R4 multifamily zoning district.
Martin?
Not here?
Art?
Oh, okay.
I'm told there's a microphone at this table right here, if that,
This one, okay.
okay, whatever is easiest. State your name and address and what you would like us to do for you.
It's Cynthia Martin. My business is at your virtual service. The address is 416 Hay Drive, Decatur.
Right. And what is it you are wanting us to approve for you today?
I have here a last one.
What is it you're asking the board to
Oh,
approve for you today?
To operate a business out of my home.
Okay. And were you here when I went over the rules
Yes.
about customers and employees and?
Yes, I have no employees, no inventory, no customers.
Everything's done online?
Yes, everything's strictly online.
Okay. Questions from the board?
What kind of business are you operating online? It shares that you, virtual assistant services. What is that? It
Speak
shares
up.
that you're a virtual,
Yes, virtual
assistant services.
Everything's virtual. All of my customers are out of state, out of the country.
What are you assisting them with, I think
Yes.
is?
Oh, Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, mail emojis, sometimes data entry on a website.
Okay, computer type things.
Yes.
then. All right, understood.
Just my
Thank you.
laptop, that's it.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board?
No, no questions.
Comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
No comment.
Comments from the planning department? Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the applicant as presented today in public testimony.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Stephen Thomas,
Yes.
Larry Wade,
Yes.
Brad Townsend,
Yes.
Wayne Dean.
Yes, you have been approved.
Don't need to do anything else?
See Nancy.
Case number 3, application for appeal of Darlene Clinton for determination as the use permit on field section 2510 of the zoning orders to operate administrative office for online business selling T-shirts located at 1205 Fifth Avenue Southwest, apartment D4, property located in R4 multifamily zoning district.
Hi,
How you doing?
you'll state your name and address.
My name is Darnay Clinton. My address is 1205 Fifth Avenue Southwest, Building D, Apartment 4.
And what is it you would like us to do for you today?
Well, I'm trying to start my own clothing brand, and I was wanting to renew my vendor's license and stuff because I had them back in 2011. So I was hoping to renew them. And I understand the policy about no customers coming to your home. My apartment is just my home office. All of my sales, I'm working on an online store right now, and with the licenses, I'll be able to like go to Madison to pop-up shops and set up my table and stuff to sell my merchandise.
All right, questions from the board?
I have no question.
How much inventory are you going to maintain at your residence?
No more than maybe 300 pieces. I'm not, like you said about not having an 18-wheeler pulling up, no, it's not gonna.
So it'll all fit within that one room of your house where you're doing the administrative work?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm in conjunction with the print on demand screen print place in Madison called Apparel Lab. So they're gonna be the ones, this is one of my shirts right here. So they're actually gonna be doing the work. I'm just gonna keep the inventory at my apartment, but I don't have any machines or nothing like
Yeah,
that.
so you're not printing the shirts at your,
No, I'm not printing shirts at my home, no.
alright, makes it even easier.
And when you grow to the size of needing more space for more inventory, we wish you luck in, opening a shop somewhere.
Thank you.
But whatever you keep just needs to be within that one room,
Yes, ma'am.
of your place. All right, any other questions from the board?
No questions.
Comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
Comment.
Comments from the planning department? Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I offer motion for the approval of the request from Mr. Clinton to have an online business operated out of his home.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Larry Ray,
Yes.
Larry Townsend,
Yes.
Elaine Dean,
Yes,
Stephen Thomas.
Yes.
you have been approved.
Thank
You'll see Miss Nancy.
Case number 4, application to Brandon Garrett for termination of his use permit appeal section 2510 of the zoning ordinance to operate a dog breeding business for Teacup Yorkies located at 406 11th Avenue Southwest. Property is located in an R3 single family zoning district. Garrett.
We will call that one again at the end. Case number 5.
Application to the initial call for termination of use permit on appeal section 2510 of the zoning ordinance to operate an online herbal supplement business located at 1606 Howard Street Southeast. Property is located in an R4 multifamily zoning district.
State your name and address,
Denasia Codal, 1606 Tower Street.
and tell us what you would like us to do for you today.
I'd like to get my license for my herbal online business and at home. And I sell herbal capsules, tinctures, and herbal teas.
Were you here when we went over the rules for customers and employees?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Are you gonna be keeping inventory at your house?
Yes.
Again, those are small things, but you understand that it's all got to be contained in that one room.
Yes.
All right. Other questions from the board?
All your sales online?
No, I drop off local.
Okay.
Any other questions? You understand they can't come pick up from you at home? Okay. All right, comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
Okay.
Comments from the planning department? Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Elaine Dean,
Yes,
Stephen Thomas,
Yes.
Larry Ray,
Yes.
Ray Thomas.
Yes.
you have been approved. Good luck.
Case number 6, application, appeal of Michael Sprague for termination as use permit on appeal section 2510 of the zoning ordinance for a administrative office for a mobile locksmith and roadside service business located at 1310 Morningside Court Southeast. Property is located in R2 single family zoning district.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Mike Sprague, and I am the owner of 1310 Morningside Court Southeast, Decatur, Alabama, 35601. And I'm here to request permission to operate an administrative office out of one of my bedrooms in my home. I've got 2 vehicles. I've got a mobile van. All my key storage and products are all inside the van itself. There's nothing stored anywhere in the house or on the property itself. And I have a small little vehicle for roadside service. I'm the guy you call in the middle of the night when you get a flat tire and need to jump. And yes, I run a lot tonight. And I moved here from Huntsville about a month ago and bought a house here. Got out of that place down there.
Welcome to the garden.
Thank you.
All right, questions from the board?
Yes, how do you, your advertisement, your new locksmith, is it, I just see your name, how would I contact you? Is that like just Google and hope a locksmith pop up?
For roadside assistance, I have contracts with 15 motor road clubs. You contact them, they contact me for the roadside service. Or you can go to the website or call me directly on the phone. As far as mobile locksmith is concerned, I've got a website, Facebook account, 1-800-UNLOCKS account online, all social media platforms, or just on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no signs. I do carry business cards. That's the only hard advertisement I have. Everything else is social media online.
So you've been doing this quite a while?
3 years.
Okay, good. Okay, that answers a lot of
I
questions.
moved out of
from
the
pre-meeting.
west state of California into Alabama about a year ago, so I'm starting to get off the ground, trying to get the clientele built up here.
So Mike, in the questionnaire form that you filled out, question number 1 is kind of confusing. It says, is the occupation applied for? Your occupation you're applying for here is to have an administrative office in your house.
Correct.
So the question is it conducted entirely within the dwelling?
Yeah, I have a bedroom. I have a bedroom, a 4th bedroom just set aside.
But you answered no. is
Oh,
what
did
I'm
I?
saying. The question is a little
We just need
confusing,
you to
so we just need you to
come over
initial
here
that
and
over here.
circle it different. It is confusing
you
because you're a
would.
mobile business, so that, but
Yeah.
the administrative office is contained within your house.
I kind of got here around 3:30 or something one afternoon. I was running up and down stairs because it was, so it's
Gotcha.
possible that I filled it out really
You're
fast.
fine.
Not a problem.
You're fine.
You're not the first and you will
And it
not
is
be
a
the last.
confusing,
Well, it was on the 26th, the last day I could do this at
Yeah.
3:45, so,
There you
yeah.
go.
so just put yes, what do you
Just
say?
put yes in your
Yes, circle
initials.
it and then initial it.
All right.
It is a confusing
If you
question.
look at it, it's kind of scribbled.
That's
Oh,
all
you're
right.
fine. All right, any other questions from the board?
No questions from you?
No, no questions.
Comments from the public? Comments from the building department? Comments from the planning department?
No comment.
Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the application.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Stephen Thomas?
Yes.
Gary Wade?
Yes.
Brad Townsend?
Yes.
Blaine Davis?
Yes.
Thank
You
you.
have been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
and
luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. Look. Case number 7, application of Phil Frank Godwin, representing Chick-fil-A for an 8-foot 6-inch setback variance from section 2521.12 of the zoning ordinance in order to construct a covered canopy located at 1809 Beltline Road Southwest. Property is located in B4 Regional Shopping Business District.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, board members. My name is Frank Gadoon. I work with Essentia Architecture. My address is at 1743 East McNair Drive, suite number 200 in Tempe, Arizona. And we're here representing Chick-fil-A for this project. Do we have the ability to put the site plan in view? And that'll be the sheet A1. And if you don't mind, I'd like to walk over and just kind of push everything through.
Down here a little bit.
Sheet A1, yeah, the next one. There we go. Okay. What we have is, this is Beltline Road right here, and this is an existing Chick-fil-A store. It's fully developed with your standards here in the city of Decatur. The issue that Chick-fil-A is experiencing at several of their locations is during the prime operating hours, which is lunchtime, breakfast, and around 4 o'clock to 7 p.m. is you get a lot of traffic coming in here, and it gets very congested in here. And so what Chick-fil-A is doing throughout the country is they're enabling their employees with smart tablets. And what they do is they send them out here to where the order point canopy is. There's a couple of those two-way communication, old-fashioned order point canopies there with the menu and everything. And they're realizing that, at noon, when you start getting into a whole bunch of cars coming in here, these little order point menu boards just don't work at all, okay? Not very efficient, right? So what they're doing now is they take up to 6 kids and they put them out here with these smart tablets, be able to take your credit card at the same time as well as your debit card. You make the order, it goes into the kitchen, and as the car swings around here and starts lining up here, that's the reason for the lengthy canopy here as well, is we have another 2 to 3 team members sitting out there delivering food. That's all they do all day, or during those rush hours of the day. So the purpose of the canopy is really to fulfill 2 things. Number one, we want to keep those kids out of the high heat, humidity that you experience here in the South during the summertime. And then it rains quite a bit more here than it does in Arizona. So if we can keep those kids out there for a longer duration of time, then it proves to work efficiently to get these cars in through here and out this exit. So their traffic pattern that they work with right now is a car will come in off of either side of Beltline Road, come in here, and normally they've got a little bit of signage. I think I saw one here when I was out at the mall that causes the car to come in here, circle around, and then comes in to here where there's double stacking in this aisleway right here. And at that point, that's where you get, if you get 6 cars stacked up, and believe me, they go pretty quick. I've seen how fast they produce these at other sites. And take the order, car circles around here, and by the time they usually get around this corner, that order is ready to go, and again, it's out the door. And then once the car completes this turn here, it goes straight out, and there's a right turn only exit there. So that's the best case scenario for this particular site, given the size of it and how small and tight it is. So these canopies are, I don't know if you have an elevation in there. I think we, let me grab my sheets here.
And you have temporary canopies now.
They have temporary canopies right now, but they have poor lighting in them, and they have
You're
very...
wanting to replace those with permanent?
Yeah, so this is going to be a permanent canopy, and it's going to look a lot better than that. If you can put up the sheet number 84, that has some renderings that are in color of what this is going to look like. And what you can see is it's a very slimline canopy design. It has a white powder-coated underdeck on there. And then the fascia of this is going to be the bronze anodized, so it matches what you see out here over these window areas in here where they have the bronze canopies there. That's the intent there. And then these holes that support the canopy, they're going to be bronze as well for this store. And then what we have is lighting underneath the canopy for, when it starts getting darker earlier out here in the wintertime hours. And then we also have fans and heaters in here. So it gets a little cool like it is right now. It gives them a little bit more comfort zone in there to work outdoors. And then in the summertime, when you have that sweltering heat and that heat index that you guys all have out here, then that helps keep them, a little bit cooler out there. So the goal again is to help mitigate that traffic by keeping those employees out there a lot longer. And so we think that this is a pretty nice solution to this problem. It's working in a lot of their other stores that we're working on. This is probably well over my 500th store with Chick-fil-A. So these are all stores that were previously designed without this canopy that we're going after. Do you have any questions?
Questions from the board?
So it sounds to me that if I don't like the high humidity and heat in the summertime, and I don't like the cold, rainy weather in the wintertime, that you're proposing I move to Tempe, Arizona.
Absolutely. I didn't want to mention that because that gets everybody a little bit upset.
120 in the summertime, but it's dry heat and everything is
I'll tell you what, you're right, dry heat is nasty, and I've seen it as high as 116 for weeks at a time.
Yeah, I know.
But, these canopies actually really work, and they do the trick.
I do that. I know that too. I was just messing with you. That's good.
What's the timeline from the beginning of your construction till you complete it?
That usually takes about 3.5 to 4 weeks. So what happens here is, Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays, right? So at 9 o'clock at night on Saturday, when the store closes down, the construction crew will come in there, and the first week they'll core all the footings out. Now they usually will use an auger to core straight down and put caisson footings in, or we give them the option to put in spread footings, which again, they only carve out about a 4-foot section of the pavement that's there. So then what happens is the soil and dirt and everything that's not being put back into the ground gets immediately put into a dump truck, and we haul it off to a legal dumping site. That way there's no stormwater pollution problems with the adjacent neighbor. And here we're in a mall, so we wouldn't want any of that runoff going in there, right? So we take care of that night is what Chick-fil-A does. And then by the time 6 o'clock rolls around on Sunday morning, the footings are usually poured and caged, and the rest of the trenching is backfilled. And then where we need to put a cover plate on there, we'll do that. And they go ahead and open it back up for business on Monday and keep rolling through. Now the rest of the time from that week on, during the night time at 9 o'clock, when it's shut off, from the public, they'll go back in there, and it's kind of like a giant erector set. What you get is a company like Lane or Fashion fabricates all this, and they come it out on a truck, and they just erect it in place. So the next phase from that would be putting up the steel column supports, the cantilevered beams, and then the roof decking. And then probably about the third week of construction, when all this is assembled, we get your final hookups for the gas radiant heaters, the fans, electrical, and then we call in for the C of O. So this will all be permitted. It's all designed by professionals, from a structural engineer to electrical engineer, as well as a plumbing engineer. So you'll get the complete set from us.
All right.
Any other questions from the board? I'm reading in here, I guess, just to state for the minutes, you're requesting about an 8.5-foot variance on the one side.
Yeah, so if we can go back to that site plan, please.
And we reviewed that, and it's still,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
the right-of-way is
fine.
It's
Yeah.
fine, it's still far from Beltline Road.
Excuse me. Yeah, so what you have is, that's where the building, setback line is. So this is the one canopy that will be beyond the building setback line.
But yeah, still
Yeah.
within the parking lot and still
Right.
miles away from the actual.
Yeah, and in reality, your drive lane is beyond the building setback line too. So I know that that's a little bit different, but
All right. Any comments from the public? Comments from the building department? Comments from the planning department?
If approved, we'll still need to get an administrative site plan approval done on this. We'll contact you about that.
okay, yeah, that's not a problem. We'll be happy to do that.
Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Larry Wade,
Yes.
Brad Townsend,
Yes.
Lane Dean.
Yes.
Stephen Thomas.
Yes.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great evening.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Nice to meet you.
All right, case number 8, application Bill Michael Petty for a 22.87-foot rear yard setback variance from section 25-10-10-2D. The zoning ordinance to add 15 feet to a covered outdoor space from the detached garage to the house at 1119 8th Avenue Southeast, property is located in the R3 Single Family Zone District.
My name is Michael Petty, I live at 1119 8th Avenue Southeast. What we're proposing, or what we would like to be able to do, is to extend the gabled roof on our garage to our home. Just would be an exposed beam structure to where have a sitting area and such under that. And that's more or less it. We're just going to extend the roof line over to the house, to have a covered area to be able to sit and enjoy. Things being like it is nowadays, you really truly can't go anywhere, or, you know.
Creating a breezeway, basically.
More or less, yes, sir. Just a covered breezeway area.
Next questions from the board?
No, I think we talked about it enough.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
No comment.
Comments from the planning department? Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Make a motion, we approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Brad Townsend,
Yes.
Lane Dean,
Yes,
Stephen Thomas,
Yes.
Larry Wade.
Yes.
you have been approved.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Bob, will they work with y'all as far as getting the actual
Oh, yes.
approval
Yeah,
from the building department?
Yeah, he'll talk.
Plans and all that?
John. Randy. Whoever, get a building permit, yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, case number 9, application Bill St. Paul Lutheran Church for a 22-foot setback variance from section 2578D of the zoning ordinance in order to install a new monument type sign located at 1700 Carroll Street Southwest. Property is located in the B1 shopping business district.
Yeah, I'm Don Olson, and I'm the treasurer for St. Paul's Lutheran Church. I live in Trinity, 474 North Seneca Drive in Trinity. And yeah, we're getting a new sign, okay? And the old sign sits another 17 foot back, if you will, okay, than where we're asking for. And the problem with it is when you come down Carradale from the Beltline, you can't see it. If you have any cars in the parking lot at all, you can't see the blooming sign, okay? All right, and so we want to get closer to the street, okay? And there's like 100-foot variance for the Carradale itself. So we're asking to come 53 foot back, which would be, it's 50 foot on each side. So we're asking to come 3 foot on the outside of that, so 53 foot back, and then have the sign out that way.
Are there questions from the board?
No questions here.
We talked about this one beforehand too, the fact that Carradale has a very large
Yes, it does.
right of way.
Yeah, and you can't see the blooming sign when we got, you know, which is set back for.
All right, comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
No comment.
Comments from the planning department? Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, a motion for the approval for the request from St. Paul Lutheran Church.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Lane Dean,
Yes.
Stephen Thomas,
Yes.
Larry Wade,
Yes.
Brad Townsend.
Yes.
It's been approved.
Thank you.
Case number 2, application to fill James and Susan Prince for a 22-foot rear yard setback variance from section 25-1092D of the zoning ordinance in order to add an addition to the back of the existing house located at 1209 Count Valley Drive southeast. Property located in the R2 single-family zoning district. I like 22.
Hello, I'm Susan Prince, 1209 Count Mallard Drive, Southeast, 35601. I need to build a room for my father. He's 88 years old and just moved in with us. So he needs his own space with his own heating. So I'm asking for a 22-foot variance to build him a bedroom.
Okay. We talked about this before, and I think we are in agreement you don't need a 22-foot variance. We're wanting to build a 22 by 15-foot room.
Well, yes, the hardship is he likes it 80 degrees.
Right, no. It's
No,
just,
not it.
you want a 22-foot room, you don't need a 22-foot variance.
Oh, okay.
You need, I
Yes, I
think we said
misunderstood.
an 11-foot variance to put you within,
To do what you want to do.
yes.
I don't understand.
That's,
Help you, Bob.
So
It took us a minute
If you look
to-
at the screen there, your corner right here, is where my little marker's at.
Yeah.
All right, from here to the back of the edge of your house is 51.65 feet or something like that.
Okay.
All right, so the setback requirement is 40 feet, so that only gets you up to maybe about right here. And then you could build anything you wanted to out here, so you're gonna want 22 feet. So to go from here out 22 feet, you're only encroaching the setback by 10.35 feet. And we've decided to round that off to 11, so that gets you right up to what you need, over just a little bit, just for a fudge factor.
Okay,
So
so,
that's really all you need is 10 feet to encroach into the setback area. Or
okay,
11 feet.
I'm gonna trust you on that.
Well, that's what we, because you're only adding 22 feet onto your house, and if it's making
22 by 15,
yeah.
yeah.
So if it's going back 22 feet, and all you need is 11 feet to get you your setback, that's all you really need. You could actually, if you ask for 22, you're going for
12
what,
feet.
32 foot. It'd be a 32 foot. by 15
Okay,
foot.
okay.
So with a 22 by 15 room, you're only going over the line 10 feet and some
11,
inches.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, that was our only, a 22-foot, we probably would not approve, because that would let you build a much bigger area into
like
your
a house,
backyard.
okay,
Um,
okay.
So I guess we need her to change her application.
No.
No?
She asked, you can
Okay.
approve or
Yeah.
deny or approve with conditions.
Okay.
So the condition would be, she asked
Right.
for more than she needed, you can
So
give
we
her
just need to
less.
state,
11 foot.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions from the board? Comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
Any questions?
I didn't.
I just wanted to make sure she's okay.
Yeah, I just wanna
It's-
make sure it's
You
gonna
can-
be big enough for
You can build your
him.
building.
It's
Okay,
it's a
okay.
technicality.
Yeah.
Okay, then I have no
Yes,
questions.
if you want a 15 by 22-foot building, what we are proposing will accommodate what
Okay,
you want.
okay.
Okay,
Good
allow me
enough.
to ask this question then, because that brings up a question. Have you got your plans or whatever set, already
No, I had to get
set?
this first before we move to that step.
Okay, cause see, what that could mean, once they really get to laying it out, that if she needed, just for the sake of this discussion, instead of 10.5 and we gave 11, if she needed 12, then she'd have to come back.
Right.
Because she hasn't laid her plans
But
out.
I think maybe you've already talked with the builder, right? Or construction, somebody
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
construction, and they came and they've said, we can do you a 22-foot, a 15-foot room. for-"
Right, and then I called the building
Then he called
department.
us, and of course, we drew it out. Probably your builder came up here to draw this out?
No,
Okay, y'all did.
yeah,
Okay, but, so the key is that your builder understands that he's gotta stay within that 22-foot by 15-foot,
okay,
what he's got to understand.
Yeah,
He's gotta
he-
stay
yeah.
within that, so, as he's building this thing, they'll lay block, or they'll pour concrete. Well, before they bring that structure on up, they'll get another survey done that'll show where those corners are, so we know that he's not over that area, and then proceed on.
okay.
So, you know, I mean, he could,
So should I get like 12 just to be safe? And then if I don't use
Well, I
it,
mean,
it's no
that's up to
harm,
you.
right? No
It's up
foul?
to you. If they're, based off of what you presented to us, you only needed 10.35. We were gonna go with 11. But if you're saying you feel more comfortable going with 12, and then at that point, you'd probably do a 23-foot by 15-foot room instead of a 22 by 15-foot room.
It's possible.
So it's up to you.
Okay, let's
Which
go
I mean,
12.
and it's up to them, not up to me.
Yeah.
But whatever we make on the motion, the
Right.
motion
Right.
to be whatever it is.
So how confident are you your builder's gonna stay at 22 feet?
Pretty confident.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then there wouldn't be, as long as they do that, there's no problem. in-
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, we've got,
Okay.
what, 6-inch fudge factor, over 6
Yeah,
inches. So-
I guess I was just thinking
Yeah.
about when we have ideas and then sometimes when we start laying them out, that extra foot would be really important to
Yeah,
us.
that's
and
why-
then
Yeah,
we
that's why I
shrunk
said
our
because of
house.
what
That's
he
what we-
said. I was like in agreement with that.
Because we wanna give that,
Yeah.
that wiggle room.
Yeah, so I would feel comfortable to make sure that, because she's building it for her father and stuff, I would feel comfortable with 12 feet more so than 11 to give her one more square foot of area if she needed. She knows that she's gonna lay out, her mind says 15 by 22, and if that lands where we think it will, not a problem. But if they look and say, oh, we didn't count for the brick or what have you, then she still would have the inside room for her father. So I would be in the 12, just from what I think I understand
Yes.
Ms. Price is saying.
Yes.
So your motion to the board.
Yes, I'm gonna
Well,
make the motion.
yeah, we'll let you make the motion, but any other questions from the board? Comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
That's it.
Comments from the planning department? Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I offer motion that we provide, that we approve the request from Ms. Price for a variance of 12 feet, a 12-foot variance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Stephen Thomas.
Yes.
Larry Wade.
Yes.
Brad Townsend.
Yes.
Lane Dean.
Yes. You have been approved.
Yeah, you can try to explain this to my husband.
Just tell him you were approved.
Tell
and
him you
that
were
was
approved
good.
to build the
The
building.
build is 15 by 22.
Approve the builder.
Okay.
Yeah, whoever you're gonna decide to do the work, bring them.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright. Case number 11, application to Frank Hernandez for use permitted on field section 2512 of the zoning ordinance to develop an R4 multifamily residential zoning district use on the lot located at 928 Sim Street Southwest. Project is located in M1A Express Commercial District. You represent? I am. Alright. I don't know, that's a good question. I got the site plan, talking about Disney.
I've got something a little better. I've got hard copies, I can pass you.
Oh, what he's actually planning on developing?
Yeah, we got a little bit of something to show here.
Oh, that's all I got there. If you wanna give it to Lamar, he might be able to help. Can you push that up there?
No, you gotta do it.
Oh, I gotta do it, never mind. Well, where'd I put it, Lamar?
I have good old paper, just in case.
Good old paper will work.
Always a backup
Let me
plan.
get signed in here.
Yeah.
While they fight with computers, you can state your name and address and.
My name is Blake McAnally. I'm with Purite McAnally, 310 8th Avenue Northeast, and we're the engineering firm representing Mr. Hernandez today, who is unable to be here. Mr. Hernandez owns the property that is effectively behind Home Depot and Academy, bounded by Academy's driveway, Fairground Road, and Sims Street. This is across from the fairgrounds. He recently had approved through the planning department a fitness center, which is under construction now. It's a new facility, pretty large facility. It is also shown on this plan. On the balance of the property, there are existing utility easements. There's stormwater detention that is in the plan that is being constructed now that will serve the entire property once it's developed.
Which one is it?
Let's see. Don't tell me I picked up the wrong one. That's not it. Close that one out and go back to the, go back one and the one that says. Okay. There you go. So, just to give you an orientation, this is Home Depot, right here. This is the backside of Academy. This is Fairgrounds Road and Sims. This is the fitness center that's under construction now. This parking lot and this detention will be constructed during this process. This connection to Fairgrounds, along with the roadway here and a connection out here, that's also part of this project. Water, sewer, and everything will be constructed to bring to the fitness center.
Question, sir. You said the water detention, retention, is that like a setting pond? Tell me what that is.
Yeah, that's a detention pond for stormwater as required by city engineering.
Okay, all right.
So
it can fill up with water and then it'll drain out. That's just the way it
the
is.
requirement is any increased post-development in runoff versus pre-development runoff must be detained.
Right.
That means that the amount of stormwater in a rate leaving the property during any given storm event doesn't increase post-development compared to pre-development.
Okay.
So that has been designed, already approved by city engineering and is under construction now. And we did design that for the entirety of the property.
Okay.
Anticipating additional development to be undertaken.
All right.
So what you see along the bottom here is just a general idea of what could be constructed should you consider and approve the request today. These are intended to be rental properties. They're two-story walk-ups. They have a garage on the ground floor and some room on the ground floor and a stairs to go upstairs. The architect doesn't have a plan yet, or I would have brought that to you. They wanted to get through this process before they spent money on the architectural design. We are showing here basically 42 units, I believe. They're in blocks of 7. We're asking for permission, which is allowed in an M1A zone on use on appeal, should you approve it, to apply R4 zoning, which is multifamily zoning. These properties are intended to be rental properties, not platted and sold in fee simple. So it's all going to be one ownership and rental properties. We did set them up with like you would a townhome, because they're each individual. They're not connected in between. They're individual. And then the setbacks and everything that would be required if it were townhomes, we're generally we would employ those in the design process too, as a matter of fire code and convenience, frankly. So we're here today to ask you to hear this appeal and approve this appeal to allow the use on appeal for R4 to be applied to the balance of this property to construct these residential units. Would say that this is an M1A zoning as if it were on the Beltline, but it obviously is not. The zoning ordinance allows for some different setbacks, not as significant setbacks, because it's not actually facing the Beltline, it's behind Home Depot. We've applied those setbacks, and that's this dashed line that basically comes around the property. We're well within inside of that. And I will say that even though we're showing parking out front and units in the back, this might be flipped. We might put parking in the back and the units up front. Exactly what will get built there will be determined when the design process moves forward, should this request be approved. But we wanted just to give you some idea of what this might look like, just so you'd understand what we were asking for.
And you'll have a driveway, like a single driveway coming off of Sims into the property, whatever the property ends up
Correct.
looking like?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna have this connection to Sims, this connection to Fairgrounds. And that's, there is a driveway here that we, if required, and we can get permission from, because this is a private drive belonging to Academy, to come out here, then, we'd be happy to do that should they allow it.
All right, questions from the board?
You mentioned that the units will be, that the plan may be that you will have in units of 7. Is that, was that, and I did not quite follow. I heard it, I think I heard you say you build them in blocks of 7 or whatever like that.
This is 7 units.
Yes, sir.
So 6 times 7, that's where we got 42
That's,
units.
okay, that's
But
what I.
if you will, this could possibly be constructed as one building with proper fire ratings in
With
between.
7 houses.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
More, and look more like a townhouse.
Than anything else. Okay, thank you so much.
And each unit has its own garage underneath.
Each unit will have its own garage.
Very nice.
And frankly, we have parking counts in here, which I think it requires 2 per unit. And we have parking counts on surface outside the building. When we go through planning, if it is allowed that we could count a space in the garage as 1 and have 1 outside, then we would reduce this parking and have a little more green space. And quite frankly, might add another building or 2 if we could. Yeah, any other questions I can help you answer?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, sounds good.
Comments from the public? Comments from the building department? Comments from the planning department?
Planning department recommends approval.
Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve the application for the property owned by Francisco Hernandez.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Larry Way,
Yes.
Brad Townsend,
Yes.
Joanne Dean,
Yes,
Stephen Thompson.
Yes.
you have been approved. Please call the last case. We have to recall this one.
Case number 12, application to Decatur Orthopedics and Sports Medicine from section 2510 of the zoning ordinance to install 2 signs that do not meet setback requirements at 1106 16th Avenue Southeast. Property is located in the MC Medical Center District.
Hey, I'm Marcia Buchanan. I'm the practice manager for DSC, so I'm representing them today. And I apologize, we don't have the information you need to look at this, so we are asking to, if you would, table it and let us present, get you everything you need for next month.
Is there a motion to table?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Larry Way,
Yes.
Brad Townsend,
Yes.
Joanne Dean,
Yes,
Stephen Thompson.
Yes.
we'll see you next month.
Thank y'all, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, please recall case number 4.
Application to Brandon Garrett, for determination of use permit on field section 2510 of the zoning ordinance to operate a dog breeding business for T. Cup Groceries located at 406 11th Avenue Southwest.
Have a motion to dismiss case number 4.
Motion to dismiss case number 4.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do we have any new business to discuss?
No.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, I motion that the Board of Zoning Adjustments stand adjourned until,
All in favor, say yes
yes.
Yes.
and leave.
All right, thanks.